Today we will be winter pruning our roses.
Welcome back, everyone. My name is Paloma, and today we're going to be out here in my garden. Thank you to all of the new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. I am trying to reach the 1,000 subscriber count, and I would greatly appreciate it if you can go ahead and subscribe. In my last video, we pruned our fruit trees, and today we're going to be pruning our roses. So in preparation for all of the work and the pruning that we had to do this year, I have been reading a lot of pruning books, and specifically for the rose bushes, I went and picked up this book. It is called Jackson and Perkins Beautiful Roses Made Easy. It's the Southwestern edition. As you can see in the reels, I also attended the San Diego Rose Society annual pruning demonstration that they have at Balboa Park, and I got a chance to practice on their hybrid teas and their floribundas. I have also been growing my rose collection throughout the year, and I have made a video for you already on the care that I give my roses, how do I prune them, and the different parts of a rose bush if you're not familiar with them. And now we get to apply all of that information to the task today. And I went ahead and counted all the roses. We have 52 rose bushes here in our garden, and we're gonna go ahead and prune them all today. And the first thing we want to look is at our attire. So we want to make sure we have long sleeves, some long pants, and that we have some closed-toed shoes on. You also want to make sure you have a pair of gloves with you. I do have some thicker ones than these ones that are my favorites, but they are currently indisposed. For tools, we do want to have our pruning shears that we have here with us, and we also have some loppers that we're going to be using. And like always, before you do anything, you want to make sure you have some sharp and clean tools. So let's go ahead and quickly sharpen this out. You should also know by now that we have some disinfecting to do on all of our pruning shears, especially because rose bushes are one of the ones that I've noticed that tend to get a lot of the white flies and spider mites and all of the aphids and all of those things. And so we want to make sure that we're not passing it on. Now, some quick information for you before we go ahead and get started. In the last video, you learned that there are 3 different ways that you can go ahead and prune your fruit trees in. For all my rose bushes, I'm going to be pruning them in an open crown, or what most people know it as a wine shape. It is just so much more simple to have it in that. And that is just the standard that most people tend to cut it in. It's also called like a vase shape. The only exception for that, of course, is going to be my climbing roses. And if we get a chance today, we'll get to them. In my garden, you will see that I have a couple of hybrid tea roses. I also have some floribundas, some gladiofloras, some climbing roses. But today I'm going to tell you specifically about hybrid teas. Hybrid teas are the roses you tend to see at the store. They have long stems, and they have 1 flower per stem or cane. Floribundas are the roses that you'll see a lot in cottage gardens. They are very compact bushes, and they have multiple flowers to a stem, usually around 3 to 5, just depending on how it is bred. And for our hybrid teas today, we're going to be taking off 1/3 of the overall bush and leaving 2/3 of that bush. For our floribundas, we're going to be cutting them to levels 2 and 3. We also explained before the 2 types of cuts that we will be making. So again, as a refresher, we have our thinning cuts. And the thinning cut is that we're going to cut right up next to the main branch, really trying to prevent more branches growing in that area. For our heading cuts, we're going to be cutting anywhere mid-branch on an outward facing bud to promote some new branches. And overall, our steps that we're going to be taking today, and the way that I've shown you before in my previous videos, is that we're going to go ahead and start with the very bottom of the rose bush. We're going to be removing any leaves that are in our way so we can get a view in there. We are going to be identifying the main branches of our rose bushes, And we're going to go ahead and cut out any dead wood that we notice and any damaged wood that we notice. Once we do that, we'll go ahead and start cutting out any of the branches that are growing towards the center that will be interfering with each other in the future or currently are. As we're finished with that, we're going to go ahead and start moving to our heading cuts, which is going to be looking at a third of the rose bush in a cut on an outward facing bud on all of our rose bushes. Then we'll remove any remaining leaves that we haven't removed yet and look for any suckers or stalks that are growing down below the graft point. So let's go ahead and get to it. I didn't mention this before, but you want something where you can catch your dead leaves and branches. You don't want any of them pooling at the bottom of your rose bush. Beautiful. And this one here. We have some dead wood here that we want to get rid of. Now we're moving to the middle section, and I want to continue removing the leaves so we get a better view of the center. And if we're doing a third of what the rose bush currently is, we want to kind of bring them up to no more than here. I think I'm gonna prune this area first so I can access the other end, is that. Which means I want to cut right there. Right there. Beautiful. And this, I like this bud down there. Beautiful. I like this branch going out that way. Look at that. Beautiful. Alright, so one quick note about your rose cuttings. You can identify some to try to propagate, but the rest you really want to throw away. You don't want to put it in your own compost, and you don't want any leaves or branches where your rose bush is. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this right now. Get rid of it. So there you have the rose bush, and really quickly you just want to wipe it off for the next one. You can see here that this wood is dead. And you can see the flower. All right, the next one is here. We can put that in a vase. Bring things down a bit. And we want some strong branches. So, and this one had a lot of growth this year. It had one big main cane that came up, and then a second one, and then the rest are not good growth. So let's start at the bottom again. And this one, I will say, was a pretty healthy rose bush overall. And let's have you come this way. They're in line with this here. And so this one I'm gonna cut over here. And look at that. I kind of am thinking that this is a rose, like a climbing rose, and have it grow this way. All right, so the next one in this bed is this one, which again the tag has also faded, but it is, I want to say, the sentimental rose bush. The overall size of the bush, we want to bring it down to about maybe here. So I'm gonna make this top cut for this one just so that I know where I'm trying to bring it down to, and that is right here. Great. We want to remove any leaves so we can get a visual as to what is going on down here. Start cutting certain ones. Alright, and we've shifted to the other side to get a better visual as to what we are cutting. I would say I'm gonna cut here. I want to cut here. There's that bud. I'm gonna dump out the trash, but look at this. We filled this whole thing up with the two that we pruned. Moving on to the next one. Let's get this out of the way. I do like this one. Great, and that is here. Can you smell them? Overall bush, it really only has 3 main canes. Is this here and that there. So and would you look at that? In this bed we got a very beautiful, a very thorny bouquet. Do you see that? Beautiful thorny bouquet.
This rose here is one of the most expensive roses in the garden, if not the most expensive rose. And it is one of the saddest roses that I have as well. It is a David Austin rose.
We have one of my favorites. This is the yellow rose bush that we have, and it is beautiful. And if I can get down in the center, I will show you the name of it, but I believe it is the Soul Desire rose bush, and they are beautiful yellow roses. So beautiful. This rock, the leaves out of the way. That way we can see what's going on. And that is that one right there. Beautiful.
And then this one, I do like that cane. Now we do have a rose bush back there that give very beautiful pink, like Barbie doll type flowers. I'm gonna open this path up again, which hasn't been opened in a bit. So there you see some daisies, beautiful. About a third is here, so that means on this one here and cutting right there. Then we are cutting All right, so we're moving to a new area and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 rose bushes here. And we're gonna go ahead and start pruning from this way going that way. So now that I'm going through and cutting, I realized that I didn't even count this rose because I totally forgot it was here. But it's Memorial Day. I haven't seen a flower from it yet. I'm gonna start tackling this side here. So we have the big rose bush tree, then we have the little rose bush there, and then another one right there. Can you see that? Sentimental. All right, I'm done for today. Tomorrow will be another day. But take a look at that. Beautiful. We have the center somewhat open. Now that I'm looking at this, I might cut that off there because those are gonna cross eventually. And good thing we did start pruning because look at that. Do you see those? Hello everyone, welcome back. It is the second day and Coco loves me. You love me, baby. You too, munchies? You too? It is the morning of the second day and we're gonna continue trying to get these roses pruned. have done 29 roses so far. And we still have a lot to go. So let's go ahead and get started with this bed. And there's a lot of, the garden looks messy, but I'm confident that it'll look so nice after. So let's get started with number 30, question mark. Another day has come and gone, and these two are the last one that we're doing for today because we're gonna lose the light soon. So let's get to them. So all the cleaning and preparations, we've left trails of bushes everywhere, and we are gonna need to re-clean everything. And coming over here, this is a mess. Everything's a mess over here. And slowly started to clean things up, but look at that. Just everything is a mess, and everything's piling up over here. And we're gonna have fun cleaning. All right, it is day 3 and we just have this section there left. So hopefully we can finish today. Look at all the cuttings. Alright, I'm inside now. It got beyond crazy rainy over there, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump in the shower. I started pruning this rose here. It's a pretty cute bush, and I'm gonna prune this one over there, and then I'm gonna prune this one right here, and we'll see how things go. All right, thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you feel confident in pruning your very own roses, and I am very happy that we finally finished